welcome back or welcome to my channel. In this week's video, we're going to be doing the February bullet journal spreads. So, oh goodness, an eraser shaving just fell off of my ring light. That's interesting. So the theme for this month is makeup and beauty themed. There is some like nail polish and whatnot in here, so it's not entirely makeup, but there is a lot of makeup stuff. So as always, everything that I reference will be linked down in the description. And without further ado, let's get into the video. So we're jumping right into the line art. I'm using the 08 Stadler, however you say it, line art pen because I really liked how it performed when I was doing the setup for this journal. So I'm using that again and just going over all of the doodles. We're starting with the mood tracker here. I don't know why I didn't do the habit tracker center portion at the same time because it would have been easier, but I just forgot about it. And then we're moving right into week 1. So I thought it was creative to have a little makeup brush and then there would be colored lines separating all the days of the week. Week 2 is a little shelf that has a whole bunch of lipsticks on top of it, a whole bunch, 4. And then there's little boxes underneath that are for the days of the week, and then the rest of the page will be covered in little kissy prints. This page, I'm so sad that it somehow did not end up getting filmed. This happened in my January video. If you watch that, there's like weeks that are just missing. The same thing happened again, and I swear to God, I remember pressing record. So I'm very frustrated again because somehow the coloring portion of week 1 and 2 are missing. I don't know, I don't understand. So I'm blaming this new ring light. I don't know, I think it's haunted or cursed or something. Anyways, week 3 is a bucket of makeup brushes and a hand plucking one out. And then week 4 is a tie-in to the mood tracker and it's just scattered makeup supplies across 2 halves, I guess, of the page, but they're diagonal halves to give it a little bit more visual interest, I guess. And then I don't have to worry about keeping things like square because a lot of these makeup items are not square. This one has some things that I didn't draw in any of the other ones, like little moisturizers and a fake eyelash, but I thought that it was kind of cute and I wanted to add those in. And now we're into the coloring. You can see that I've swatched out a whole bunch of different pink and nudish and reddish kind of colors over to the side there, and then I eliminated the ones that I didn't think went well. So now I'm just filling in. These are the squares of the calendar. If you couldn't guess, the calendar is going to be a makeup palette, and I'm just messily filling these in, and you'll find out in just a couple seconds why I'm doing it so messily. Now you might be wondering why I colored these so messily, and that's because I've cut out a bunch of really thin strips of black paper and I'm going to be using them as the dividers in the makeup palette. So I've cut the vertical ones to the appropriate length and they're going to go in between each little space like this. I'm going to glue them in place, and then I've also got these longer horizontal ones to go this way. I'm going to glue down the horizontal ones first just because they're going to go over this crease, and I think it'll be easier if they're on the bottom. And then we'll go ahead and glue in all of these vertical pieces, and then of course I have the outside as well and like the top bit cut out, and it's just because I didn't want the black to look streaky because all of my black markers are close to dying. So we'll just do it with black paper, and I think it'll be a really nice bold look in the journal. After January, I thought I would be done with gluing, but alas, here we are using more glue. So this was so sticky on my fingers because the pieces of paper are so thin that I ended up having to like wash my hands in between because it was just so gross to have to touch things after there's been so much glue on my fingers from trying to get these pieces glued well enough that they would actually stick to the paper. Now that all the thin strips are in and I've sort of colored in this blank gap here, I'm gonna go ahead and glue in the border pieces to the palette so that it will look like this. Afterwards, I'm gonna go in with a white gel pen to just write the days of the week here, and then probably just black for the numbers here. And then I figured that this top part would actually be perfect for like a little notes section, because February, when you line it up for Sunday being the beginning of the month, is like a perfect rectangle this month. And that's why I thought this theme would be perfect, because I saw this on Pinterest and was like, that's that's a good idea. So anyways, this would make a good notes section up here, and then I'll just have February running down the side. I don't know how I want to do that yet, so maybe I'll film that, maybe I won't. So yeah, let's just glue this in, and then we're gonna do basically the same thing for the habit tracker. I guess I decided that most of gluing the paper down was not important for you to see, so we skipped that. Anyways, here's me adding the numbers, and then we're just drawing out February on the side. I decided, because the calendar was so large, to just forego doing a title page this time, and to be honest, I didn't want things to get too repetitive. So this is what I mean by I'm not really sure why I couldn't just do this line art with the rest of the line art, because now drawing over those paper bumps of the palette of the calendar makes it harder to keep the lines straight. So you can tell that with this, and if I were to do this over, I would just do this part of the line art beforehand. But you can see the black pieces of paper that I have cut out just sitting off to the side there. I did this with like a paper cutter so that you can slide the blade inside without having to just make strips all the way around. It worked out really well, and I would recommend that if you have that as an option, or if you have like an X-Acto knife to just cut out the center square. It makes it so much easier, and then you don't have those like seams. Anyways, just going ahead now and filling in the handles of all these different beauty items with dark gray. I wasn't sure if I wanted to use both the light and the dark gray. I decided just going with dark gray. And then the little pans of makeup, I just filled them in with a black brush pen, the last black brush pen of mine that is not slowly dying. And now we're skipping right to week 3 because somehow the footage disappeared, like I said. So I do kind of regret coloring in the hand because it doesn't look the best, but then one of those brushes could be a foundation brush and they didn't all have to be pink. Whatever. It is what it is. It's not my favorite, but it also is not the worst. I like the way that the spread works out for like the rest of the colors, and I think that it's kind of a funky layout having 2 different designs in opposite corners, and so I ended up carrying along the same kind of idea with the makeup being splayed across week 4 in the same sense that there's like half a page of doodles on one side and then half a page of doodles on the other side. So just like our mood tracker, I colored in the gray pieces first. I understand that the eyelash curler does not look quite right. We're just going to ignore that. This time I did use both light gray and dark gray for some of the things, and then I went ahead and filled in all of these beauty items the same way that I will be doing it in the mood tracker. And here is the final flip through of the February bullet journal spreads. So I'm actually super happy with the way this turned out. It turned out way better than I thought it was going to be completely honest with you, and I'm thrilled. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment down below, subscribe to my channel. I post new videos on usually Mondays or Wednesdays, about twice a month. January was an exception, but hopefully we'll be back on track now. I hope you guys have a lovely week, and I will see you all in the next video.